Hello and welcome to SKTV News. You're watching Afternoon English News with me, Suchitra Rajkumari. The headlines first. Injured mother Oinam Binita in Tronglaubi blast cries for justice, vows not to step back until those behind heinous act are punished. Police fire tear gas shells to disperse protesters at Wangjing over Tronglaubi killings last night. Clash erupts amid demand for justice and action against perpetrator. Mantriban Development Committee and Namdilong Village Authority warn armed Kuki elements to refrain from any movement or activity in Kanglatongbi area. Manipur government extends a mobile internet ban in 5 valley districts, Imphal West, East, Bisnupur, Thoubal and Kafching districts till April 14 amid tense situation. Now the news in detail. In a heart-wrenching appeal from her hospital bed at Raj Medicity, Oinam Binita, the grieving mother who lost her 2 children in the brutal Tronglaubi Awang Lekai bomb attack, broke down as she demanded justice and end to the ongoing violence. Still recovering from critical injuries sustained during the horrific blast on the intervening night of April 6 and 7, Binita said the sacrifice of her children for the motherland must not go in vain and that people's decision would be her final path forward. Her voice trembling with pain, she recounted how the attack shattered their lives in an instant. She stated that her husband was away serving the nation in defense forces while they slept under the assumed protection of deployed security personnel. That sense of security turned into unimaginable horror when the merciless explosion struck in the dead of the night. Fighting back tears, she questioned the very purpose of security deployment if innocent lives cannot be protected. Having undergone multiple surgeries for 5 bomb splinter injuries, 4 in her right hand and 1 in her pelvic region, Binita has now been shifted from the ICU to a deluxe ward as her condition improves. However, her emotional wounds remain fresh. She vowed not to step back until those behind the heinous act are punished, condemning the continued inaction of the government despite repeated killings of innocent civilians. She questioned when will peace return, voicing the anguish of countless mothers across the state and lamenting that justice is yet to be delivered for the incident.
Kayam kuina khoje santi phang bida lay gidoino kiraga chain gidoino khoje kayam kuina isagi yum da bokta leba ngamaktre de khoi hoje kadai da layo haibano security gi force kangbu gi mayam lay leina makhoi lantho oga laaga akhoi gi yum du da attack do bodo kari mata phaba sungam hode ichagi thawai mang ki bodo makhoi ngasi bokso coming operation tawraga mi hat pa dandi pi baba uji action do ba kari mata ude mama ide icha hat pa mi hat pa do dandi pi tri ba de thona han ma lei ro ei cha jing do kari su khang ja tri bane hing du da mama ina golaga tum jari ngai du da mama hairaga mama nung si hairaga tum gi ba do adu du ne amu nei mama ko bata ba phang gi dre ai ngon du thori ba to do se sumna mama ma te gi ma thai chak pa cha i ba mai chang se kana ma ta phang da boi chanu ko adu sarkar gi mai kai de gi ngasi bo bo de action ama ta lokhat pi da ba akhoi bu ngasi kadai wa da leyo ha ba no thabak phana wa na su ama tawrasu yum hainari bane yum jidala ga pothama moijege haraga pothana bagi do ta laine sida bokta isada safety oidre de koi kadai da leru so haibano security force mon koi lei bagi kari su kana de leite banu pai mon koi leite harabadi charging do koi ahing tum da gai ngaong gani adu maina ngang seramadi sumaina su charging gi punchi do mangamoi makoi na koi bang pi sen biri khalaga thabane chada su masagam da bagi hida pitha tum da gi batai ngoi bagi ngakang tum da ge ko mama su haraga ba kholaga tum mane jani makto ai jani di imale bank da mate sinagra bane mayam ge apam to biro ngang to ni wadi miyam ge apam du ai apam bo
Security forces fired numerous tear gas shells and live rounds into the air last night to disperse a massive rally in Thoubal district, demanding justice for the recent Tronglaubi incident and the subsequent firing upon civilians by CRPF personnel. The rally, which came from Wangjing side and moved towards Thoubal around 9 p.m., was initially blocked by a heavy security presence near the Thoubal SB office. After negotiations, the march was permitted to proceed to the Thoubal Mela ground. However, tensions escalated during the return journey. Security forces deployed tear gas and smoke bombs against protesters at Arong Thong in Thoubal Athokbam. The situation turned volatile as crowds attempted to storm the SB office, leading to a prolonged confrontation. Security personnel continued firing tear gas and live rounds on air till around 2:30 a.m. to bring the crowd under control. The joint village bodies of Kanglatongbi area, comprising Mantriban Development Committee and Namdilong Village Authority, have issued an ultimate notice of caution against alleged armed Kuki elements, warning them to refrain from any movement or activity near civilian habitations. The statement said that despite maintaining restraint and advocating peaceful coexistence, repeated incidents of gunfire, including April 9 firing around 11:30 p.m., have caused panic among residents, with stray bullets hitting 2 houses. Liangmai Naga, wider Naga, and Meitei communities of the area stated that continued provocation would not be tolerated and held that any harm to innocent civilians would be the sole responsibility of those ignoring the warning. The village bodies also highlighted past incidents since May 2023, including mob attacks and firing at Kanglatongbi Bazaar and surrounding areas, and urged the state and central governments to take immediate steps to prevent escalation, ensure civilian safety, and restore peace and accountability. Now, Government of Manipur has extended suspension of mobile internet and mobile data services, including VPN services, in 5 districts: Imphal West, Imphal East, Thoubal, Kakching, and Bisnupur, till April 14 for an additional 2 days with effect from 2 p.m. of April 12. The Home Department stated that the decision follows review of the prevailing law and order situation, which continues to remain volatile in the affected areas. The government expressed apprehension over potential spread of misinformation and rumors through social media platforms such as WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, and X, which could lead to mobilization of mobs, public unrest, and damage to life and property. Officials noted that adequate technical mechanisms to effectively regulate mobile data services are still not in place, necessitating continuation of the suspension. However, broadband internet services, ILL and FTTH, remain conditionally restored in regulated and liberalized manner as per earlier orders. Irate locals in Lamlai side imposed an immediate blockade along the Imphal Ukhrul road following the arrest of Mang Satabam Sanjoy this morning. Sanjoy, who is the co-convener of the Lamlai Kendra Club and Maira Paibi, was reportedly detained by police for his role in organizing public protests. The unrest follows Sanjoy's recent announcement of a public curfew and the closure of all state and central government offices within the Lamlai constituency. Protesters have condemned the arrest as an attempt to suppress the movement sparked by the Tronglaubi incident and the subsequent firing on civilians by CRPF personnel. According to the protesters, the measures to impose public curfew and closure of government offices were decided during a public meeting after the government failed to address demands outlined in memorandums previously submitted to the Chief Minister.
ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯂꯝꯗꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯄꯤ ꯃꯄꯥ ꯑꯃ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯁꯥꯔꯗ ꯆꯪꯉꯒ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯁꯥꯔ ꯑꯉꯥꯡꯒꯤ ꯁꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯐꯥꯕꯤꯔꯦ ꯈꯣꯠꯂꯦ ꯉꯔꯥꯡꯒꯤ ꯏꯔꯥꯡꯗꯨꯗꯒꯤ ꯇꯧꯔꯤꯕꯔꯥ ꯀꯔꯤꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯈꯪꯗ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯁꯤꯗ ꯁꯥꯔꯁꯤꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯦꯕ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯄꯣꯠꯀꯗꯤ ꯃꯔꯤ ꯂꯩꯅꯗꯦ ꯃꯥ ꯍꯥꯟꯅ ꯀꯩꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯈꯔ ꯂꯩꯌꯦꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯦ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯄꯥꯎ ꯂꯧꯅꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯌꯦ ꯑꯩꯁꯤꯅ ꯏꯁꯥꯁꯤꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯖꯔꯨꯏꯕ ꯁꯥꯔ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯗꯤ ꯈꯨꯜ ꯑꯃꯒꯤ ꯂꯩꯀꯥꯏ ꯑꯃꯒꯤ ꯑꯉꯥꯡ ꯑꯃ ꯁꯣꯛꯄ ꯇꯥꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯀꯔꯤꯗ ꯂꯥꯜꯂꯤꯕꯅꯣ ꯀꯩꯗꯧꯔꯤꯕꯅꯣ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯃꯔꯥꯟꯁꯤꯅ ꯀꯔꯤꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯐꯝ ꯊꯣꯛꯄꯅꯤ ꯃꯥ ꯃꯁꯥꯁꯦ ꯂꯥꯜꯂꯤꯁꯦ ꯀꯗꯥꯏꯐꯥꯎꯅꯣ ꯀꯩꯗꯧꯕꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯣ ꯑꯁꯣꯝꯗ ꯁꯦꯝꯗ ꯋꯥꯔꯤ ꯁꯥꯟꯅꯔꯒ ꯈꯣꯠꯂꯒ ꯃꯥ ꯊꯥꯗꯣꯛꯅꯕꯗꯤ ꯁꯤꯟꯒꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯨ ꯃꯥꯁꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯕꯨꯗꯤ ꯍꯥꯏ ꯂꯥꯁꯇ ꯄꯨꯂꯤꯁ ꯀꯩꯅ ꯃꯥ ꯊꯥꯗꯣꯛꯅꯤꯡꯗꯦ ꯃꯔꯥꯜ ꯑꯃ ꯂꯩꯕ ꯃꯥꯜꯂꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯋꯥꯍꯩꯁꯦ ꯁꯥꯔꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯤꯔꯛꯑꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯤꯔꯛꯄꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯗꯤ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯃꯤꯍꯨꯠ ꯊꯥꯖꯤꯜꯂꯛꯄꯅꯤꯅ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯈꯨꯝꯖꯩꯌꯦ ꯁꯥꯔ ꯑꯗꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯃꯥꯏꯀꯩꯒꯤꯗꯤ ꯁꯥꯔꯅ ꯃꯄꯤ ꯃꯄꯥ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯈꯨꯗꯤꯡꯃꯛ ꯑꯦꯅꯤꯋꯦ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯃꯔꯥꯜ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯕ ꯌꯥꯏ ꯂꯩꯔꯝꯃꯒꯁꯨ ꯀꯣꯟꯅ ꯈꯟꯅꯁꯤ ꯁꯥꯔꯅ ꯃꯄꯤ ꯃꯄꯥ ꯑꯃ ꯑꯣꯏꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯉꯁꯤꯒꯤꯗꯤ ꯑꯉꯥꯡꯁꯦ ꯊꯥꯗꯣꯛꯄꯤꯌꯨ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯅꯠꯇ꯭ꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯉꯔꯥꯡꯒꯤ ꯈꯣꯡꯖꯪꯗꯨꯗꯒꯤ ꯍꯣꯔꯦꯟ ꯅꯨꯡꯗꯥꯡꯅꯁꯨ ꯍꯦꯜꯂꯛꯄ ꯌꯥꯅ ꯂꯩꯔꯤ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯒꯤ ꯃꯨꯛꯇꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯊꯥꯗꯕ ꯉꯝꯃꯣꯏ ꯍꯥꯏꯕ ꯋꯥꯍꯩꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯅ ꯃꯣꯏꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯖꯩꯌꯦꯕ ꯏꯆꯥ ꯏꯅꯥꯎ ꯂꯧꯊꯣꯛꯄꯤꯌꯨ ꯑꯩꯒꯤ ꯄꯦꯟꯗꯕꯗꯤ ꯐꯥꯗꯖꯒꯦ ꯂꯧꯊꯣꯛꯄꯤꯌꯨ.
Locals and women folk of Singjamay Wangma Pebia Pandit Laikai staged a sit-in today condemning the recent attack in Tronglaubi and the subsequent firing on civilians by CRPF personnel. The sit-in protest, jointly organized by the Pebia Pandit Laikai Youth Development Organization PPLYDO and local women folk, displayed placards denouncing the incidents and demanding justice for the victims. Speaking on the sidelines, PPLYDO President Tingujam Surendranath strongly condemned both the incidents and demanded justice for the victims. He expressed concern that civilians are being left vulnerable to attacks by Kuki militants. Surendranath urged Chief Minister Yumnam Khemchan to take up appropriate measures to save the lives of the people instead of claiming that peace has returned in the state by visiting Jiribam and Senapati districts under strict security protocols.
Kuki terrorist na chatharakpa mafam amadamuk akoi maitai singhi lanjena na legadobagi mong de sum lakpasi masi sarkar sina kari tobiribno haibasi akoi haibam khangde angang ani hatpasi ki justice akoi pami mara lebasing chapchana dandi pigadabani sarkar ke thong si lali madana sarkar ke thong se akoi ain leitaba law leitaba lebak tawna lebasi Jumde onjan na amadamu kakak tawdana mi hatana sum leibasi angam chana bagi film sidi mi oiba samaj ta mati jumde haibo wai khrasi mayam da thamningi.
A large number of people formed human chain at Moirangkom on Saturday night, demanding befitting punishment for Kuki narco-terrorists involved in the killing of 2 children, as well as action against CRPF personnel for the deaths of innocent civilians. The protest, organized by Yai School Apunba Mayra Paibi, was participated by Mayra Paibis across various localities of Yai School Ward number 14. Holding torches and forming human chain, the demonstrators raised slogans and displayed placards expressing their demands. Later, candlelight vigil and a 2-minute silence were held in honor of those who lost their lives in Tronglaubi killings. Ningol Sinaikol organized a candlelight vigil at Kwakaitel Akham Lekai last night to honor the victims of the Tronglaubi incident and the subsequent CRPF firing on civilians. During the protest, demonstrators shouted slogans condemning the violence. Ningol Sinaikol Secretary Jenia KSH criticized the government's failure to act against those responsible, citing Kuki militants and the CRPF personnel involved despite the loss of 5 lives. She further demanded the immediate arrest of all individuals involved in the killings.
Kaithala kam lekai gi pulap taro ngasi je pedal lightning to jabani ng nahan Tronglaubi lai tab dunia adi siap peta kapada lai tab micham singgi gi ngai jaw khungdo poina to jabani imna chumna tungjaba angang masa bokta yauna sidai jan narco terrorist Kuki ke narco terrorist na hatura bisa bokta siam na tumina action am ta lokhat dabi ja koi micham moina ngai tre aduna athuba matam da sidai scenario ba mi adegi siap peta suspend to biyo sumaina kyang puina micham je hat khidoino thangai sena sum hat ka da boigena akoi pulap thangai sena no moda pulap hatok biyo adu center ko akoi ngak pa laira akoi hat
Thangmaiban United Club TUC President Pratap Leisangthem has expressed serious concern over the bomb attack carried out by Kuki armed elements that led to the death of civilians, questioning how such an incident occur in an area under tight deployment of central security forces. A protest rally was held last night from Nagamapal Kangjabi to Thangmaiban DM College Western Gate, jointly organized by Amuko, MSF, Poiray Leimarol, Kohar, Amawova, TUC, and Apunba Mayra Paibi of Thangmaiban, condemning the killing of 2 children and injury to their mother while asleep, as well as death of 3 civilians in CRPF firing during the protest. Speaking on the occasion, Pratap alleged that such incidents amid heavy presence of central forces indicate failure in duty, questioning their role in ensuring public safety. He further urged the state government to take clear and appropriate stand on the issue, warning that failure to act could lead to intensified public agitation.
Central government Makada Hanglai Kanoma, Adamak, Makoina Haiba, Madam de in Maram Morakanda, Nasi Toivani, Adana Maram Morakanda, Nasi Langaxi, Matata, Muslim Sendin Gomi Matata, Akanda Conjunction Nabagi, Han Batakani, Lumanga Cinema, Pamahon, putting the Satuna Processing Luna, Equina, Matang step Lauragani, Aduna Makataba, Sendin government Amasung Manipur Gilanga, Sinap, Sapsawa, Philip Mamam, Young, Hanga, Lauk Foktrava, Masung, Poibato Doxe Makatana.
Singjamay Sion Club members organized candlelight vigil in front of its office last night over Tronglaubi killings. Mayra Paibis carried out torch march from Sion Club office till Hairangoi Thong, while 2 minutes was observed to pay homage to the departed souls. Sion President Maisnam Buddha demeaned strict action against Kuki terrorists involved and urged government to act immediately.
Makogi being as a man of being a Malina, one sided or Nakalamata, Yang Mias, put up the 2 Hibasi Koina, hiding him as a quick government, Mana, Yonova, a quick press media, mediums, Matumina, Kagasab.
A torch rally and candlelight vigil were held at Langmeidong, demanding justice for the victims of the Tronglaubi incident and the subsequent CRPF firing on civilians. The torch rally, jointly organized by the Langmeidong United Clubs Organization (LUCO) and Langmeidong Mayra Paibi Apunbalup (LMPAL), began at Langmeidong Kangjebung. It passed through several locations, including Laimanai Lamkhai and Langmeidong Kakmayai, chanting slogans calling for a crackdown on Kuki narco-terrorists, the immediate implementation of the NRC in Manipur, and accountability for the recent violence. The event concluded with a candlelight vigil in solidarity with the victims and their families.
Masagi mayumda mamagi mathada tumna lejeriba angang singadubu Kuki narco terroristsinga attack tawtana pikhiba amadi makata ba matang myoikya legidaba myohum legidaba adugi aikoina condolence message pijaba makoigi nungaitaba phongdoksaba amadi myachingna senriba myoisingadubu inango mena Manipur gomena ticket pidna matik chaba nandi PBU cherak PBU mona makata rakota thon kitnamgi namak shanti goiba relese akoi sinjabani.
Local clubs and women folk along Tinsid Road recently held a candlelight vigil to honor the victims of the Tronglaubi attack and the subsequent firing on civilians by CRPF personnel. During the event, Moirang Kampu Union Club Vice President Moirang Them Surkumar criticized the government's decision to hand the investigation over to the NIA. He questioned whether the state lacked the authority to conduct its own thorough inquiry. Surkumar further condemned the government's failure to act against Kuki armed groups, claiming that Chief Minister promised to conduct military crackdown within 48 hours of the incident. It is now time for a short break. We'll be right back.
Great opportunity for local operators. SKTV is expanding. Come and be a part of SKTV revolution with high-speed internet, IPTV along with OTT and other benefits. We are building stronger connections through franchising. Become a local cable operator and provide reliable information and entertainment to your neighbors. Unlock your growth with our technology and top-tier service. So if you're looking for exclusive partnership opportunities, then please call us at 700-5259-437 or 897-420-9157.
Welcome back. Karang Island Development Organization, KIDO, and Karang Apunba Mayra Paibi, KAMP, also organized a protest demonstration against the Tronglaubi incident and CRPF firing upon civilians at the locality last night. They shouted various slogans denouncing the two separate incidents that claimed 5 lives. Huikap Apunba Mayra Paibi and Huikap youths organized candlelight vigil and observed 2-minute silence over Tronglaubi killings. The participants raised slogans condemning the killing of 2 children, injuring the mother in Tronglaubi bomb attack, as well as killing of civilians in CRPF firing during the protest. They demanded befitting punishment to the perpetrators involved in the Tronglaubi killings. Meitei and Meitei Pangal communities under Kwakta Gram Panchayat have reached a formal agreement following the unfortunate incident at Kwakta Santong on April 9. Both parties signed the agreement at the office of Moirang MLA Thongam Shanti in the presence of the Bisnupur SP and additional SP. During the meeting, the two sides unanimously decided to cooperate in preventing any future occurrences of such incidents to maintain communal harmony. Following the signing, MLA Shanti announced the successful resolution to the public at Kwakta Santong Bazar.
Tang mapalda Kwakta amasung Kwakta Santong ani marakta thoaningdaba thokdok amakha thokhiba pathok adugi matangda ngasi nakal ani magi oiba ko isindausing mayam phaminaraga koi yanaba ma negotiation am poraktna koi kai ani gi marakta yasanaba ma porakta ngasi ni misida porakre
nakiba community ani gi marakta koi agreement amasu community ani gi leadership gi marakta Tore Gyantanadaba Kharadagi Kwakta Madi Kwakta Sandongi Chilinau Singi Marakta Community Anigi Marakta Khana China Bathoka Kadra Haina Mipainaram Badonga Sidi Kwakta Sandongi Chilinau Sing Sandongi leaders sing of the Kwakta gi social leaders sing Mayam Yauna Ngasi Honorable MLA gi office the Pamina Duna Thokriba Thodok Tugi Matangda Community Ani Gyantaminare Lepak Miam da Sarang naba Gyantana daba mipai naba popiram bado akoy masel chapchana Gyantana re
Kuki CSO's Working Committee, CSOs, has withdrawn responsibility for ensuring free movement along National Highway 202, citing worsening humanitarian crisis caused by alleged selective economic restrictions at Wunghon. In a strongly worded statement, the committee blamed an ongoing blockade by some Tangkhul women for disrupting supply of essential commodities to Kuki inhabited areas, leading to severe hardship and rising tensions. Rejecting allegations that Kuki groups were hindering movement, CSOs termed such claims unfounded and said its earlier ultimatum had gone unanswered, forcing it to step back from any moral responsibility over the highway's safety. The committee warned that from April 12, no Kuki CSOs or individuals should be held accountable for any untoward incidents along the Litan Saraykong to Mongneljang stretch, placing full responsibility on the government for any escalation. It also raised concern over delayed security responses and alleged use of supersonic ammunition by Tangkhul militants, which it said could lead to misidentification during gunfire incidents. Referring to recent violence that left 2 civilians dead, 3 injured, and a BSF constable killed, WCK CSOs urged authorities to ensure accurate verification before action while calling for restraint as tensions continue to rise in Manipur's hill districts. Sanskar Bharati Manipur Prant has demanded immediate revival of repertory grant for 126 cultural organizations of Manipur that were abruptly excluded by the Ministry of Culture, Government of India for the financial years 2024-2025 and 2025-26. Addressing a press conference at Brahmapur Harikhago Makhong today, the Executive Committee of Sanskar Bharati Manipur expressed serious concern over what it described as the ministry's apparent indifference towards the state's rich art and cultural heritage. General Secretary Gurumayum Bisheshwar Sharma stated that the ministry's evaluation committee issued an order on March 23rd, suddenly withdrawing the repertory grant from 126 organizations, including several reputed groups led by Padma Shri awardees and senior gurus. He stated that this decision is not only disheartening but also reflects complete disregard for Manipur's vibrant art and culture by the Ministry of Culture. He appealed to Manipur state government to immediately intervene and take up the matter with the Union Ministry of Culture to revive the repertory grant at the earliest, adding that a formal memorandum will be submitted soon to the ministry demanding restoration of the grants.
Manipursi Bharat Sarkargi miyengdadi akhoi culture organization ji mayam leirena laubuna maram oiraga oirambasu yai amagi loinana masida akoina repertory grant ki akoi online da submission tawba kanda masi akoi gi khudong chadaba haitare internet ki natragana oja guru sing artist sing sina men da soiba kharasu lairamba yai na thajai adubu masi oinamak akoi gi culture tawjariba sing asidi art ngaujaba adu masigi field da kathok chara leibunina masigi Panjari have Karamatin Kaki have say Amna, Nuatava Togo Amani.
18th Foundation Day celebration of Nupi Kunai Mairapai B Liwalambi Bokul Makong was held today at YMDA ground Liwalambi Bokul Makong. The event was graced by Poirei Lemarol Mairapai B Apunba Manipur President Memcha, Amawova President Y Kunjarani, Amuko Advisor Devan Sharma, and Nupi Kunai Mairapai B President. Speakers at the function spoke in length about the prevailing situation in the state. Now, like-minded group LMG Manipur visited grieving family members of 2 children who lost their lives in Tronglaubi attack and 3 civilians killed in CRPF firing during protest. 1-minute silence was observed in honor of the departed souls, while essential items were handed over to the families during the visit. LMG Secretary Ojit Sorokhaibum condemning the death of the 2 children, injuring the mother while asleep, and killing of 3 civilians in CRPF firing, demanded action against perpetrators. Moving on to international news. Talks between the United States and Iran in Islamabad ended without an agreement after nearly 21 hours of negotiations, with both sides presenting sharply differing accounts. Iran said it gave a big no to what it described as excessive U.S. demands, accusing Washington of seeking concessions it could not achieve through war and claiming the U.S. delegation returned empty-handed. Tehran also indicated that main issues remain unresolved, including status of the Strait of Hormuz, while reiterating its commitment to pursue its interests through diplomatic means. Meanwhile, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said no deal was reached because Iran refused to accept what Washington called its final and best offer, adding that the U.S. had shown flexibility during the talks. He stressed that the central issue remains Iran's nuclear program, with the U.S. seeking clear and long-term commitment from Tehran not to develop nuclear weapons. Pakistan-mediated negotiations were part of ongoing efforts to sustain ceasefire and move towards broader agreement, but significant differences continue to hinder progress. And now we have the weather report. According to ICER Regional Center Lumphilpat states maximum temperature was recorded at 27.5 degrees Celsius, while the minimum temperature was 15 degrees Celsius. The maximum relative humidity was measured to be 81% in the morning and 45% in the evening. And now the headlines once again. Injured mother Oinam Binita in Tronglaubi Blast cries for justice, vows not to step back until those behind heinous act are punished. Police fire tear gas shells to disperse protesters at Wangjing over Tronglaubi killings last night. Clash erupts amid demand for justice and action against perpetrator. Mantriban Development Committee and Namdilong Village Authority warn armed Kuki elements to refrain from any movement or activity in Kanglatongbi area. And Manipur government extends mobile internet ban in 5 valley districts, Imphal East, West, Bisnupur, Obal and Kakching districts till April 14 amid tense situation. That is all the news we have for now. Thank you for watching SKTV News and keep watching for more news updates.